What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Broad Street Coverage Podcast. Today we have myself, Philly Sports Today, Nate, Philly Sports King, Nick, 76.Nation, Samir, Fly Sixers Fly, and then Alex, Philly Eagles Only. He'll be coming in later to discuss Eagles. But for now, we're just going to briefly touch on the Phillies and the Flyers. So, the Phillies, they got JT back, which obviously solidifies the catcher position for a while. And we also got Didi back. And they made some solid signings in Archie Bradley, Chase Anderson, Jose Alvarado. And so basically the bullpen is going to be a bit better than last year. Well, it's going to be better than last year. Anything's better than last year.
Yeah.
But I think that the Phillies have some potential to be good, but I don't really see with the Mets and their new additions, the Braves basically staying the same. I don't understand how people are predicting the Braves to be fourth place. The Braves are winning the division again, in my opinion.
Easily.
I mean, when do they get Soroka back? Or do they get him back like what, mid-year? I don't remember.
Probably around mid-year.
Either way, he's an ace. So they got Ozuna back.
It just it's obviously the Phillies had the best offseason they probably could have had, but just hard to be optimistic about a team that hasn't made the playoffs in over a decade.
Yeah.
Now, or I guess a decade now.
Yeah. It's
the lineup was really good last year, and having Bohm the whole year is gonna help a lot, but they still struggle to hit with runners in scoring position, which is a problem. And the bullpen's gonna be better, but there's just a lot of question marks in the bullpen.
Yeah. We need we need Neris to be himself. But I'm really excited. This is not bullpen related, but I'm really excited to see Eflin. He pitched. He was the best pitcher on the team the last month? Well, no, we only played like a month. The last we played 2 months. The last
about a month, yeah.
I'd say about like 2 to 3 weeks maybe. He was our best pitcher because Wheeler and Nola kind of crumbled down the stretch, which is unfortunate. I mean, I wouldn't say Wheeler crumbled. He just wasn't as sharp as he was the whole year.
Yeah.
I think if Eflin can pitch like that, that's a very solid trio. And then
he's been getting better every year. And then you got Spencer Howard. You got to hope he makes a leap this year.
Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, last year the biggest concern with Howard is that he just doesn't have the arm stamina to. Like he would tire out after. He'd be good for 4 innings, and then 5th inning rolls
just
around and
blow it.
I mean, you need, with our bullpen, you need guys who can
go deep.
Velasquez is never going to go deep into a game. I mean, it's rare. I just think I do think Spencer Howard can be good for us, but I'm just not so sure it'll be this year because I heard there were talks that he wouldn't even start the year in the rotation. I don't really know. I guess we'll see. I always use the first couple weeks of a season to judge the rotation. Obviously, it's I'm not going to prematurely judge it, but I think I think Howard can be good if he can get his arm stamina to be a little better and go 6-7 innings. But other than that, I think the offense, the lineup is really good. It was what, top 7 last year? I don't remember exactly.
Something like that.
So that's really encouraging. Obviously, you have Bryce. I just think, like I said, the Mets made too many moves. The rotation is going to be insane. The Braves, their lineup is the best in the division, and they have a good rotation and a solid bullpen. And then you can't rule out the Nationals either. I mean, they're not good. They're kind of in our boat. They're kind of like they can be
They're in
good, but
limbo.
they're not winning the division either. So maybe we can sneak into the wild card, best case scenario.
Isn't it expanded playoffs again?
I don't think
I don't know if it's confirmed to be yet.
I don't think they confirmed that.
I'm gonna double check that.
I know that I think they ruled out the DH, didn't they, officially?
Yeah, I think they did rule out the DH,
Which
but
hurts the Braves more than us because they have to play Ozuna in right field or left field, I guess.
Do you think Wentz will be the fifth starter, or move him to the pen and have Matt Moore as the fifth starter?
well, I've been hearing that they might do a 6-man rotation. So I don't know how that's gonna work. I guess they have Moore and Anderson, and maybe Vince is in the bullpen, or Vince also starts. It's gonna be weird.
I think 6-man rotation is not a terrible idea. Everybody needs their, it's 162 games again, so everyone needs to get. I keep using arm stamina, but everybody needs to get it back. They need to get back in the swing of pitching every 5 days for how many months? Whatever it is, 4 or 5.
Especially with Nola, who wears down towards the end of the season, and you can tell he's on the decline at the end.
Yeah, that just all factors into the annual September collapse that we have every year. The pitching falls off, the offense falls off. I mean, last year JT was hurt for a few weeks. Reese was hurt. The fact that we couldn't make an extended playoff in a 60-game season, just pathetic.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I just looked it up. Expanding playoffs is still on the negotiating table, and so is DH actually.
I thought I saw somewhere that
rule on that.
I thought I saw on New York Mets News Instagram that they confirmed it. I don't know. He posted rule changes. 2021 season will have 7-inning double headers, no universal DH, no expanded playoff, modified extra innings with runners on second base, which was the same as last year. That's what I saw on his page. That's why I thought it was official, but I'm not sure.
I know for sure that they're going to have 7-inning doubleheaders and runners on second to start the extra innings.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really.
I know for sure that's confirmed.
I don't mind the extra innings.
That's already agreed upon. I mean, it's all about Manfred just wanting the pace of the game to be faster, but
which it needs to be for the younger.
But if you sit through a 3-hour game, like, you can wait a couple extra innings if.
I agree with that.
Second base rule, like, I think that's just stupid.
I mean,
I don't think it's fixing anything.
I mean, I guess it also saves arms and stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'd say it's not a terrible rule, but it's not great. The 7-inning doubleheader thing, that's just, I mean, I guess it's good, but I don't know. It just seems like an odd advantage if a team plays a lot of doubleheaders, or it could be a disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'd say it's probably more of an advantage because
the Phillies had to play 60 games in 62 days last year. Like, they can't be playing those 9-inning doubleheaders.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't really mind that as much.
Yeah. All right, so I think we've established that we all kind of agree that the Phillies are probably gonna be good, not great, or probably not even, maybe just mediocre. But it's still yet to be seen. I mean, they've surprised us in the past. A few years ago, nobody expected them to be in the hunt the year before we got Bryce, and they were. And then, obviously, they fell off that year, the year after, and this last year as well. So, hopefully, we could just play some good baseball down the stretch, and maybe we can sneak in. As for the Flyers, they're currently on hold due to COVID. They've been playing some pretty poor hockey. I mean, they've been
Some
Sloppy.
hockey. Yep.
Like their record doesn't reflect how they've been playing. They have a solid record. They're
second in the division.
almost definitely going to make the playoffs, but they've been
Yeah.
outplayed in a lot of their wins.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they blew two 2-0 leads against the Islanders. They ended up winning both in overtime. And then they blew the lead against the Bruins. And then the most recent one against the Bruins was, or no, they played the second recent one where they, I think it was Pasternak scored with like 14 seconds left, and then Scott Lawton got called for interference, and then Marchand scored in overtime. I don't remember, but either way,
yeah, something like that. They were playing really good that game too until the last 10 minutes where it just fell apart. That was one of the games where they were actually like outplaying the Bruins until the last 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah, that was just, those losses are just hard to get over. But you know, in hockey,
like they haven't.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No,
I was going to say in hockey, what we have all learned from the past is you just have to get hot around playoff time and you're fine. Even if you have a mediocre start and middle to the season. The Flyers started off the season poorly last year, and then they really picked it up, and then COVID happened, and then they kept their hot streak, winning the seeding games. And then the playoffs were the against Montreal. We didn't exactly play a great series there. They won in 6. And then obviously Islanders series should not have gone to 7 games. We're lucky that we even forced it to 7. They were outplayed that whole series. Carter Hart kept him in both the overtime wins that they had against the Islanders, and then Game 7. Did we get shut out? I think we did, right?
Yeah.
So, and then they just continued that trend of they've been able to sneak by in some games playing poorly, and other times not so much. But still, they're still 8-3-2, which is obviously really good. So let's just hope if they can keep coasting by, playing poorly, that's fine. As long as they can find their stride in a few weeks while still being top 2 in the division, I think they'll be in fine shape. But again, with them, they're not one of the elites in the East. They're probably not. I mean, it depends what you consider one of the elites, but I think that the Bruins, Lightning, who else? Well, actually, isn't it? It's
a division this year. Like the divisions change.
Like I know the divisions are different, but you could be playing a Western Conference team before the finals. I'm pretty sure before the Stanley Cup. So I'm pretty sure you could, like, 2 Eastern Conference teams could end up playing in the Stanley Cup. I read somewhere. So we don't know who we're going to face off against. But either way, I'd say they're not among the league elites right now. But that could change. Carter Hart, I think, last year was he really struggled on the road, and people kind of we looked over that because of how good he was in the playoffs. Yeah. But now he's kind of back to struggling a bit.
He's just struggling in general.
Yeah.
But the defense has also been really bad. It's kind of a combination of the two.
So we think that the Phillies, we think, could possibly sneak in, but we're not too confident. Flyers, they're going to make the playoffs, but probably a second round, maybe first round exit. But who knows? Again, they could get hot. Teams make a run all the time. The LA Kings were the 8 seed when they won the Stanley Cup, so you never know. So on to the Sixers. We just lost 2 straight for only the second time this year. First one was pretty sure we played the Nuggets, and then the Hawks when we were decimated with COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Blazers game, I thought we didn't play. We played fine. I thought we were in great position to win after the third quarter, and then Melo just went off, gave them the lead. We were able to fight back into it, and then obviously the call at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't even really
I
blame us
mean,
for that.
we had a
play.
good game,
Go ahead,
and like I don't know what we're supposed to do when the other team is shooting like the Blazers were that game. And also,
Exactly, Melo was hitting contested
yeah,
jumpers.
and Melo tripped at the end. I don't think that should have been a call. I think you should have just let the game keep on playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think that definitely should have been a
Yeah.
win. But
The one thing that I did see,
today
I
is
did see a
different
lot
story.
of like fans. I don't know if you guys noticed, but like a lot were going after Ben Simmons for that last play where Covington deflected
he
it.
played his best.
I think that
arguably
was
his best game of the year.
that was one of the best, like most complete
That was
games he
easily his best
played.
game of the year,
He like
in my
had
opinion.
0 turnovers the whole game up until that point, and I think that was just more a bad play design by Doc Rivers. No one really got open.
Nobody was open.
No
He
one
had no
got open.
timeouts.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that at all.
Yeah, I did.
That
was
he
just
played great defense.
He clamped Dame too, in my opinion.
He had 19 in the
Like
first
he was,
quarter and then finished with what?
I think like 21. I think.
Really? Wow.
I think
No,
oh,
he
did
he. I think he had 30 points, but on really poor
Wait, are you
shooting.
talking about Dame or are you talking about
Dame.
Ben?
Yeah.
Oh,
Dame.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Dame.
Ben finished with 23. Yeah.
Yeah, Dame shot 6 for 21.
Yeah, no, Simmons had
Yeah,
him. Simmons had him boxed up.
The difference was Melo had 17 points in
We
the
win
fourth
that game
quarter.
9 out of 100 times. Like Melo's not shooting like
Exactly.
that. Like,
Yeah.
you want to be in a position where
We-
Dame's not taking the shots and Melo's taking the
It's
shots.
ridiculous shooting. They're like shooting lights out.
Yeah, I'm not too upset about that loss. That's not an indication of anything really. That was just Melo had a great shooting night. We also shot the 3 ball very poorly.
That one guy, Gary Trent Jr. I don't know what he has against us.
Well, he does that against every team, really.
No, he does, right?
He's shooting like 50% from 3, pretty sure. He's just a knockdown shooter.
He takes 7 threes a game, and he shoots 43 or 45% on them.
45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's a knockdown shooter. I mean.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I mean, again, they just shot really well. Well, they kind of cooled off a little bit, and then they came back to life in the fourth. But also, I mean, Tobias didn't really play very well. He was 0 for 5 from 3, something like that.
Yeah.
Embiid was obviously really good. And we didn't get any bench production.
Yeah, the bench
the
just
last
looks
2 games.
pretty lost without Shake Milton.
I mean,
like now you have people like Furkan Korkmaz, for example, who feel the need to kind of like take over on the bench because no one else really has the drive to do it.
and it's kind of glaring.
Mm-hmm.
Like Maxi's a good player. He's still a really raw talent. He's not. I don't think he's. After watching, I just don't know if he's ready to play significant minutes on a championship contender right now.
Can't run offense.
I don't think his jumper's polished enough, and
he really can't shoot.
He can't
Rated
shoot.
for
He just
others
more
now,
slashes
either.
to the rim or tries to.
No, but like he's been a brick recently when he's been trying to shoot.
Yeah, his jumper's just not really polished.
And he's also
and
hesitant
he's
to shoot from the
just not
3.
really a facilitator.
But he's a really good finisher at the rim.
He is.
Like,
He is.
really
He
good. He
go
makes
up
some
there.
crazy. He finishes some crazy tough shots.
And didn't he have one today where he just like drove right at someone and got it in?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that we got ended by Dario today.
Yeah.
I mean,
from what I saw, I didn't even think Dario played well. He just played a lot.
He
shot
shot pretty
well.
poorly. I think
he had like 14, and he was.
a lot of his like.
I was joking about him ending us, but
No,
he played pretty well.
He had that one. He stripped Embiid, which kind of like put a dagger into it.
He had 15 on 5 for 10, 1 for 4 from 3. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not too upset about the Blazers game, although it really would have been nice to have because I knew that we were going to lose at least one, if not both of this game and the Jazz.
And then we played
game.
the Jazz, so.
But basically today, it was more the same. The bench was just really, really bad. I think
our bench put up like 12
Tobias
points.
has to shoot more. Tobias was 7 for 9. They were all mostly like
layups, stuff like that.
5 to 8 footers.
Mm-hmm.
10. I don't know. I don't think he shot a 3 all day. Danny Green was good shooting the ball. Simmons had 16 in the first half and then 2 in the
Great
second
first
half.
half.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
seems to be a trend with him recently. He'll go
did that
off in
against
the
the
first half.
Pistons.
He just
too.
cools down. I don't know what he
He had
does.
20 against the Pistons.
The thing
in
is,
first
he had
half.
favorable matchups.
And then-
Oh, sorry.
and then
You
came
go.
on.
You go.
No, I was just talking about how against the Pistons he had 20 in the first half and then
Yeah,
like,
I
absolutely
don't
nothing in the
like
second
that.
half.
Like, because he had favorable matchups today. Like, I felt like Jay Crowder couldn't really guard him at all, and
He was blowing
yeah,
by
that's
Jay
what I'm
Crowder.
saying. Like, I feel like every time like Simmons was on Crowder, he should have just gone for it, not try to like. I think he just tries to over facilitate sometimes.
Yeah, I think man, looking at the bench today, just atrocious.
I don't think the bench is that good, but Doc
really
is just not
would,
putting
like,
them in a position to
go ahead.
succeed.
He's not. Like we talked about this in the chat, and I put it on my story that I don't like when he runs out 5 bench players
Yeah.
at once. And PSG was right, or he does do it less in the second half. But still, like you can't have a lineup with Maxey, Matisse, Dwight Howard, Mike Scott, and Furkan.
Yeah, no, it's not.
That's
Yeah,
not going to work.
it's
It's not gonna cut it.
It's not as much of a problem when Shake plays, but like
even
when
then
you
it
don't
is.
have Shake, then the lineup is just
Yeah.
so.
I liked when
challenged
Brett Brown-
It
offensively.
really
Sorry.
is.
I liked when Brett Brown staggered it more. Like we could see like Simmons and Embiid run with some of the bench players, and sometimes like Doc does put Tobias like with a couple of the bench
Yeah,
players.
Tobias does play a lot with the bench, and then Simmons does.
Simmons does
sometimes,
too, but like I feel like I would like to see more of the starters get integrated with the bench because someone is gonna like some team come playoffs is gonna take advantage of that all bench lineup.
the bench matters.
Well, we probably
We won't do that in the
I hope
playoffs.
not.
There's no way
We better not.
because we're
I
going
hope
to
he's
run
still
what,
just
an
figuring it
8-man
out
rotation, maybe?
because these
I doubt Furkan sees the floor in the playoffs.
The thing about Furkan, I was just thinking about
And Mike
this.
Scott.
If you guys have noticed this, besides a few rare exceptions, obviously the Pacers game, he had a lot of big shots, and then the Blazers game last year, and then he's had some good games, like he's had the 2 30-point games, blah blah blah. But I've noticed about Furkan is he'll always hit a 3 for you when you're like up 11 to put you up 14 or up 8 to put you up 11. But when you need a 3, you're down 5, he just doesn't hit them. Like, I don't know. I feel like he's the best. He's so good. He's a really good momentum player. Like, you already have the momentum. He'll keep it going for you. But if you need to get some momentum, I don't know. He just – and then he tries to – sometimes when he tries to – just some of the shots he takes, I don't know. It's just rough. But I do like the fact that, in that lineup, him and Maxey are really the only aggressive.
He dribbles a lot. Like he had like one shot today where he was just dribbling around with the ball, and then I think he like took a step back 3 and just like missed it completely. It's just like the little stuff like that doesn't need to happen.
I think, but yeah, I think we could definitely make a move. For PSG said maybe a stretch 4.
Yeah, I'd prefer a stretch 4 or 5 so that you don't have to play Ben and Dwight together sometimes. Because when you have Ben and Dwight on the floor, it's so counterproductive, especially when Embiid's out. And Matisse usually sees the floor a lot in those lineups. It's so challenging.
What are some names that you have like in mind? Because I feel like for me, one that comes up is Laurie Markkinen.
I don't know how we're gonna get him. People talked about
Bielitsa. Oh yeah. Is he like open to trade?
Yeah. Says you imply.
Yeah. The Kings don't.
He was supposed to sign with us, and then didn't he? Like he just snaked last second. That was really weird.
But yeah, I would take him.
He fits in perfectly with our trade exception too, from the Curry trade or the Danny Green, whichever trade we got trade exception from.
$8.3 million.
I don't think. Sorry, Nick. Go ahead.
What the trade exception was? It's $8.3 million.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, so you could just give up like a second for him and then waive Poirier or I guess Poirier or Bradley.
Could Ferguson be cut or no?
I would keep Bradley
Bradley.
Ferguson
I like Bradley.
makes like too much money.
Ferguson's me.
Yeah, I like Bradley, but Ferguson, I would definitely cut Ferguson, but he just makes too much money for them to waive him. Like he makes like 4 million, I think, because it's the
We have
last
a
year of
lot
his
of
rookie deal. I'm
contracts
pretty
that are
sure.
really tradable for like 10 to 12 million.
Yeah, we have Danny Green, right?
Not even
Who,
him,
like,
but like
that's
Mike Scott's making what, 4 mil.
He's making 15,
Danny
isn't he?
Green's making 15.
Danny Green. I don't know about I just don't know if we can get Markman because he's been playing a lot. He's been playing a lot better.
Yeah, I doubt
Yeah.
Markman would be on the block. He's actually had a really good season with Donovan. Donovan has been using him a lot differently as Boylan used him, and that was the knock last year.
But just looking at the roster, we still really need a primary ball handler who can create his own shot, and like I just like we need a guy like I don't even know who we can get, but like I'm just saying like a guy like Kyrie, but obviously not the Kyrie scale. But you know what I mean? Like we need somebody who when the like some you can't just like some obviously you can force feed Joel, but you need somebody else.
Yeah, someone reliable
who can create their own shot.
Mm-hmm.
And Tobias has been.
Joel had 35 today.
He was just
on
settling
really
all
good
game.
shooting, and he had 30 in the Blazers game.
He didn't.
Yeah.
I don't think he took it to the rim
like
once aside that spin dunk. Like he was just he shot well, but yeah, he was. It was almost like he was scared to take 8 into the rack. I don't know why. It was weird. Not scared, but you know what I mean. Like hesitant. He just kept pulling up because he was giving him the pull up jumpers, and he was knocking him down. So I guess
wrong,
he just thought.
But he might be looking ahead to Gobert and wants to save energy for him because like that's going to be a big game.
Oh yeah, if he has a bad game, everybody's going to go off because Jokic torches Gobert. And Joel has struggled against the Jazz last year. I'm pretty sure the road game against the Jazz was pretty rough for us. I think it was. I don't know. I think it was kind of like today. It was close enough, and then they just pulled away. I don't remember. Did we? We didn't play the Jazz a second time, did we?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think we did.
Yeah, I don't recall. I don't think we had our home game against the Jazz.
No, but, I think we did.
Yeah, that'll be
Yeah, we did. Beat them. It says it's on December 2nd, 2019.
I'm gonna Google it. Oh, I guess.
I can look at the box score.
Yeah, just did Joel have a good game that game?
It was 16 and 11. This was the game. Tobias had 26 and 9.
Wait, which game are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about the home game.
We didn't lose.
No, we beat them at home, and then we lost to them by 2 on the road a month earlier.
Oh, it was that. I felt like it wasn't that close. I thought the Nuggets game was really close. I don't know. Either way, I don't think Joel had a very efficient night against Gobert.
5 for 16. He had 16 for 18. Yeah, 18 free throws.
Yeah. Okay. So we're probably going to see something similar to that because I have a feeling he's going to settle for a lot of jumpers again. But I mean, the Jazz seem like a beatable team, but then they just have so many guys that can beat you. Like Jordan Clarkson off the bench is fantastic. I don't think they're going to have Connolly on Monday though.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which clearly hasn't mattered the last 2 games because they just blew out the Bucks and beat Boston without him.
I don't really know what the difference is with them this year. Like they have pretty much the same team as last year. Even though Conley's been playing better, they haven't had him for like a week or 2, and they've still been
really well,
practically unbeatable.
Ingles is good. What's his name? Royce O'Neal's good. I'm pretty sure Royce O'Neal's shooting like.
Oh, he's shooting.
Pretty sure he's shooting a really good percentage from 3. I think their whole team is shooting well from 3. They still have Bojan.
They have 40% 3-point shooters and a 38% 3-point shooter.
Yeah, they have a lot of good shooters, and the way they run their offense gets their shooters open constantly. So I'm interested to see how we play against them. I'm not sure who we're going to throw on Mitchell. I mean, I don't think we're going to put Simmons on him.
I would hope
Maybe.
so. He's just got
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah,
It seems like we don't
Danny
sometimes in those situations. So, like, I don't know. Like, Simmons started great on Booker today, and
Danny
then
on D-Book today.
Danny Green started going on him. He just blew by him with one step.
Yeah, I don't know what the
I don't
obsession
know.
is with like putting their best players, like putting Danny Green on the best player. Like they did that with Bradley Beal too, right? When he went off on us. Yeah, I don't get the logic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I like Danny. I think he's a good. I think he's a good pick and roll defender and good help defender, but he's not a guy to lock down like a
Maybe
Yeah.
years
No,
ago.
he's not a good
Top
ISO
keeps putting
defender
him
for sure.
on the team's best player.
He's not gonna lock down anybody when they're going ISO. Like anybody
And
significant.
Booker did like good against Simmons today, but that was already after he got going.
Yeah, he was hitting some
when
crazy shots.
Danny was on him. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Just looking at our roster, if our bench plays this poorly, we're not beating anybody because our starting five is not gonna beat Brooklyn in a 7-game series. That's for sure. I still think we could definitely.
Just gotta hope that.
I was gonna say we could definitely take Boston. We could definitely. I think we could take Miami. I mean, sure they had our number last year, but I think that we'd be good against the Heat. The Bucks.
Still gotta see us against
the Bucks. Are kind of. I don't. I'd like to.
The Bucks got better, but they somehow got worse. They got better.
They got worse defensively, but they have the best offensive rating in the league. I'm pretty sure.
Wait, even better than Brooklyn's?
I think. Pretty sure they're the number one offensive team.
Because I saw something.
Well,
oh yeah, because I saw something like Brooklyn has like the highest offensive rating of all
since trading for Harden. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Either way, there've been a lot of
I
offensively, but their defense has lacked, and I'm interested to see how we match up against them. I still wish. How many? We're probably going to play one more time against the Nets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that we don't know when that is, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just we just have to hope that maybe we make a move. I don't think we're going to make any significant move. Like I don't think the starting five is going to change all year.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I mean, unless people are hopeful we trade for Lowry. I know Nick is hopeful we trade for Lowry. I'm hopeful we trade for him. But I just don't think a package of Danny Green and like Terrence Ferguson and Matisse and some picks is going to get it done. Because I feel like if they were to trade him, somebody could. Honestly, I don't know. Would we have a better package than the Clippers?
I just don't think that they're even going to trade him, to be quite honest. Like, obviously, he's an independent free agent and he's old, but they're still in the playoff race, and he's a pretty loyal guy. Like, I know he's put his house up for the market, but players do that all the time, and it never means anything.
Yeah, I'd imagine that he'd probably re-sign if they didn't trade him. Although maybe he will go to a contender. I mean,
trade him. Like a honest opinion. I think just letting him walk in free agency would be dumb.
Yeah, might as well get something out of him.
I think they're kind of clicking recently. They've been clicking recently. They've been playing a lot better. So maybe they wait it out. I mean, they're still a month till the trade deadline.
Sure.
So they'll probably see where they stand. If they keep winning, they'll probably keep him. If they start to, fall off again, like how they started the year, maybe they will trade him. And if we do get Kyle Lowry for some sort of Danny Green Matisse style package, that would be crazy. But
so I was looking at like some trade packages for Kyle Lowry to see like where other teams what they would offer, and one that I saw that stood out a bit was Clippers get Kyle Lowry, Raptors get Lou Williams, Patrick Beverly, Zubac, and Caban Gately. I don't know how to say that, but yeah. So I guess like you could take that as you want if you think that might be a better package than what the Sixers have to offer.
It just depends if they would rather have Zubac or
Right.
Batiste. I don't know. Zubac is fine, but he's nothing special. Batiste obviously has the defense. If he could develop offensively, he could be a really good player. But like we said, that's a big if. I think that if the packages are looking like that, I think that they probably would be more inclined to keep him, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like it makes more sense to just like I think Nick said this too. Just basically get what you can out of him if he does walk away from free agency.
Like we said, I think it all depends on how they're doing near the deadline. If they think they have a chance to make a playoff run, which they really don't, but teams obviously don't think like fans. Then maybe they keep him, but if they start to fall off,
they're only 7th right now, so like there's still a chance. But they have teams like
they started the year really poorly, and they've been a lot better.
And they have they still have like the teams like the Heat and the Hawks who could potentially like come after that spot.
Well, I think the Knicks will fall out of the playoff race. I don't know about the Hornets. They've been playing really well.
The Hornets will have like a really good like night, and then they'll just get blown out by like
kind of like the Pelicans.
Not mediocre teams and nights. Yeah.
Anyway, so but there's 10 teams technically make the playoffs this year. So all those teams, the top 10 right now is probably what it's going to be, honestly. The Bulls are decent, but they lost. Who just got hurt? Marketing, right? I can't remember. Somebody got hurt in the Bulls. And then Orlando is just really bad. So I think that the top 10 as it is will probably say
Cleveland was up there for a bit. Then they fell off. They've lost 6 straight. Cleveland.
Who? Oh yeah, they always play teams close though. If you look at their games, they're kind of like the Pistons.
And
well, the Pistons don't always play teams close. They just win. They just win games against good teams.
They beat the Nets too, I think, with all of their star power.
No, they didn't have KD,
they had
but
KD
still.
for the first
without KD, but they had Harden. That should still be.
No,
I don't think so.
Either way, that's still a good win for them.
I think you're thinking about the Wizards.
Pickup could be George Hill on the Thunder.
Yeah, you've been talking about that.
Yeah, definitely.
George Hill would go for
on the Thunder.
Not much at all.
They're not asking for much.
We talked about before the year, but I mean, I would love Patty Mills too, but he's
in the race, aren't they?
I don't know if his shooting has fallen off. He was insane to start the year, making everything
40%.
But still, he would be pretty good. George Hill, though, I would love George Hill.
We could probably get George Hill for like
You can't.
Actually, I don't know if
you can't trade Ferguson or Fournier for him because they got traded from the Thunder. They can't trade him till the end of the season.
How much is George Hill making?
Trade exception.
9.59 million.
I think I would trade Danny Green for him.
I don't know. I don't think Danny Green.
I don't know if I'd trade Danny for him.
Hold on, pause. Guys.
I don't know if that's really worth it.
I think George Hill would provide a lot for the bench unit, and it wouldn't make Shake the primary ball handler on the second unit, which would help a lot. It's unfortunate that his contract is just outside our trade exception. I'd be hesitant to trade Danny Green for him because that'd pretty much be the only way we could get him. But if it happened, I wouldn't be upset about it. I think he'd be more beneficial to the team than Danny Green is. I feel like you can find a Danny Green type shooter at the deadline anyways.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, I guess I would agree. Like, looking at George Hill's stats, he's been a knockdown shooter the past 2 years. Like, last year he led the league in 3-point percentage. Now it's only on 3 attempts a game, but it's still pretty impressive. This year he's shooting 39%, which is still really good. So, I mean, I guess I'd be hesitant to trade Danny, but like you said, it'd probably be worth it. We could also get Mike Muscala, who
I mean, he's the reason we got
was obviously a former Sixer. Yeah, he's the reason why we have Tyrese Maxey. Now, I did not like Mike Muscala when he was on the Sixers, but I feel like he'd be a solid pickup because you could play him with like Ben, because like as we were saying earlier in the show, Ben and Dwight lineups just are not it. So getting Mike Muscala would stretch the floor. When
I think
Joel isn't on the floor.
Any type of stretch four, I feel, would just be beneficial for Ben Simmons. I don't know, when I see like the Ben Simmons, Matisse Thybulle, and Dwight like Howard lineups, that gets me anxiety. So
I think that would Mike Muscala, George Hill for Danny Green would be
that would be a good trade.
Yeah. A lot. And George Hill's under contract for another year too, I'm pretty sure, which would be nice.
Okay. What's Mike Muscala? Is he still under contract too?
No,
yeah, he is.
Okay.
He's only.
Yeah, I mean, if we did do a trade like that, I wouldn't be too upset about it. But can that trade even like happen? Because didn't we technically get Danny Green from the Thunder?
Yeah.
Or like I don't know how that all worked out. Like I don't know.
Oh yeah, wait. I mean, Nick, you were saying that.
Yeah, I don't think we could
into them, but technically we did get Danny from the Thunder.
I think it would work.
So would that even work?
I don't think so. Yeah.
I would still like George
Hill. Either way, those are some.
Yeah, I think George Hill would still be a good pickup.
Would be beneficial.
Well, it's been a while since we talked about the Eagles, and since then we've signed an entirely new coaching staff, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, new quarterbacks coach, and most importantly, a new head coach, Nick Sirianni. So, Alex, Nate, do you guys have any thoughts on Sirianni?
Yeah, so Sirianni's offense, it's pretty basic offense. The point of his offense is try to get players onto a matchup that is favorable. So, like for example, I saw this one clip where he was using like Tyrell Williams to get him matched up on a one against a linebacker, and I think you're going to be seeing a lot of that. But I mean, like it's not like a Kyle Shanahan like super crazy offense where there's motion and play action bootlegs and everything like that. It's actually pretty simple. So
you're saying that he like plays more to the strength of the players, that type of thing?
Right, exactly. And not necessarily like a schematic thing.
Yeah, I get that. I agree with that too, in the sense that like I think that's something Doug kind of lacked a little bit at some points.
Oh yeah,
for
sure.
He really didn't like play to players' strengths. Like I felt like Jalen Reagor could have been used a lot better, and I was kind of like disappointed in the way that he was utilized. I would have thought,
dude, totally.
Yeah, I would have thought. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Just like not getting him into open field, into open space, and like Carson Wentz too, not rolling him out to the right, not rolling him out to the left, not rolling him out. Period. Where that's clearly where he's best at. Even his worst season ever this year, he was still really effective on the run. Yeah. So I mean, I think we're getting someone who play, like you said, they play to their player strength or coaches to their player strength, and not necessarily like a crazy X's and O guy.
Yeah. Nate, what about you?
Well, I was just gonna say, do you guys think they're still gonna do like the 2 tight end sets? Because I saw a report that said they were going to.
But, oh yeah, totally. I mean, like, let me say this for a second. If you look at Doug Peterson and what in the offense they run in Kansas City, do they run two tight ends with Andy Reid? No. The reason why the Eagles run 2 tight end sets is because of Howie Roseman. That's the reason why.
Yeah, it seems like more and more that this is like becoming more of Howie's team and what he wants, more than like what the rest of the team wants. Because I do like I don't know how true this is. Like I wasn't too engaged with the Eagles so far this offseason, but like one thing that I did read was that I think the entire like scouting department and some of the coaches wanted Justin Jefferson. And I think Howie just saw Rager as a better fit, or like what he thought was a better fit. So I think he picked him instead. Like stuff like that.
Well, there's also a report after Doug Peterson gets fired where Howie Roseman's the one who wanted Justin Jefferson. So I think that's pretty interesting timing that after Doug Peterson leaves, Howie or a report comes out that Howie wanted Jefferson.
Yeah, before we know it, like when Wentz gets traded, we're just gonna hear all these like random reports out. He's a toxic cancer and stuff like that. It's just all about convenient.
The media is in Howie's pockets.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. And these sources that Howie Roseman has, I mean, if you're Jeff McLean or if you're Adam Kaplan or if you're someone who works under Howie Roseman, because that's what sources are, they work under Howie Roseman, you can't criticize Howie, because if you do, you're going to lose your source and your information, and you're not going to have a job.
Right.
So that's why Howie Roseman doesn't get any criticism for the media either from like reporters, where guys like Doug Peterson do.
Right, and like Howie Roseman does deserve most of the blame, in my opinion. I mean, the way that I looked at it, I don't know if you guys looked at it, but I thought of 3 people that need to get eliminated in the following order. I think Howie Roseman should have been the first to go. And then with the new GM, you have like a year or 2 with Doug and Wentz still. If that doesn't work out, the way that I see it is, and I think the way that I thought Jeffrey Lurie saw it, was that Carson Wentz is his most valuable asset. Like he's the most valuable asset to that football team. That's what you've like funneled all your resources in the time that you traded up for him. So the way that I saw it is you want to exhaust every other option before you get rid of your starting quarterback, before you get rid of that franchise guy. And that means like getting rid of your GM and getting rid of your head coach. So that's the way that I thought it was going to work out. I don't think that's the case anymore, but it blows my mind how he still has a job. I get that he's like very good with his numbers and stuff like that. Like he's great mathematically and like working out contracts, but I think his role should just be reduced to that.
Well, the thing is too, Howie, he's as crazy as it seems, he's very respected around the league. If he was demoted, he would get a job in 15 seconds. And who are you going to hire as a GM?
Yeah, that's my
thing. You're right.
What candidates are out there?
Who are you going to find that's
going
to replace him, especially when we're like largely in debt this offseason?
Yeah,
and that's
you're right.
One of the main things Howie's good at is he's basically a glorified accountant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
totally. And also too, I do kind of want to make this point too. I find it extremely interesting that after, when Doug Peterson got here, if you take a look at Howie's resume of drafting, in the Andy Reid era and now the Doug Peterson era, you're going to see 2 completely different types of drafters. In 2011, he drafted, I think it was 2010. He drafted Brandon Graham. 2011, he drafted, I think Fletcher Cox.
Yeah.
2012, it was Lane Johnson. And then 2013, I think it was Jason Kelce.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at his
Ertz
resume,
in 2013 as well.
He had
right.
Foles, Michael Kendricks, Vinny Curry, like just those players that contributed at one point.
Exactly. So that's why I think it's more so on Doug's coaching staff, who don't do a good job at developing players. Like that's just a fact. I think it's more so on the coaching staff than it is on the general manager. But I mean, that's just my opinion.
Yeah. I do agree.
Yeah,
and like
sure.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't get like the argument that I think it's very unfair. I'm just gonna throw this example out here. I think it's very unfair to both JJ Arcega-Whiteside and Jalen Reagor to be compared to players like DK Metcalf and Justin Jefferson, because I feel like a large amount of their success, and they're both like great players, don't get me wrong, but I think their success does come from the system that they were like trained in. I think that if you put someone like Jefferson or Metcalf in our system, just seeing how like all our players have turned out, I don't think you would have gotten half the player that they were like on their current teams.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
They obviously wouldn't be the all pros that they are. I agree with that.
Right. Yeah. So I do think that does fall into like, and you see it like with different players too around the league. Like I know Nelson Aguilar had one good season with us, and I know he was not like, he had a pretty good year, I would say, this year. it's like the stuff like that. It's like you see players like
Sidney
Nelson,
Jones.
yeah,
Yeah,
Sidney
I was
Jones.
about to say Sidney Jones.
What about Rasul Douglas? Because I know he did like something.
He had a pretty good season, like
Yeah.
solid.
He had a pretty decent year. Yeah.
Just stuff like that. There are players that like leave and they do turn out better.
And that's why I think it's more so on the coaching staff than it is on Howie Roseman. Because even too, like the like late round picks, guys who Howie's scouting, they turn out in Philadelphia just fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like Jordan
so
Mailata, for example.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And Jalen Mills, we all like to hate him, Jalen Mills, but he
he's
did
good.
have a pretty solid,
He's solid.
season.
Solid.
He should have been
And
moved
also,
to
too-
safety earlier in his career.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also too, like guys off the street, like Boston Scott, Craig on the block,
Fulgham.
who are
Yeah,
now-
Fulgham.
Fulgham too, yeah, exactly.
Greg Ward, yeah.
well.
He's good at finding
I mean,
that,
like-
yeah.
He's good at finding those type of players who can contribute right away. And so that's why I think it's more so on Doug's coaching staff than it is on Howie.
Right, but then
But I mean, I'd fire them both.
the
today.
thing that also makes me
I mean, if Doug was still
yeah. The thing that also gets me a little bit confused is because you do talk about the coaching staff, but then you also talk about these like players they picked off the street and they've contributed. So it's like it's kind of hard to tell, you know. It's hard to tell
Well,
where
I
the
mean, I
line
was-
is drawn. Of like,
What I meant by that was that these are people that Howie looked at and said, okay, they can
yeah,
contribute
they're
right away.
contributors. Yeah,
Mhm.
so he does have
Right.
that right.
And then that's what I
And
meant.
I don't know about this draft, like this year's draft or the previous one that we had, 2020. I like a lot of the players that we took, and I think they can be contributors down the road. Like Jack Driscoll, I think could be. I mean,
Yeah, he was pretty solid when he
He's
did play this
solid.
year,
Yeah.
and then he got hurt. Like he hurt something in his finger, I think. Like,
yeah, it was something like that.
his finger
Yeah.
got like pushed back in his hand. It sounded pretty weird, but
Yeah,
he was good when
Yeah.
he did play.
yeah. And then we have people like Hightower and Watkins, who I think are like pretty solid. I think they were like all right for like what they did. Hightower kind of annoyed me.
Yeah, I agree.
Hightower, like,
Hightower
Hightower,
creates
that
separation
drop-
really well.
yeah,
but
he just needs to come
he
down
just has
with
to
the
work on
ball.
his hands.
Yeah, and then people like Kavon Wallace, I think like he's like more.
He kind of underwhelmed.
He
this year,
was a bit
though.
underwhelming. He's more of like that guy that I see just brings in like good energy and stuff like that. You know,
Mhm.
like he comes in like he's
Yeah, for sure.
motivated.
I think he definitely should have played more though. Like, there's no reason why Marcus Epps should have been. playing
Yeah,
more
I
than
didn't like
most of
Marcus.
the
Yeah, I
season.
agree with that.
I didn't like- And then even like
And also too, Jalen Hurts.
yeah, Hurt. I mean,
I mean, he played well.
I didn't agree with the pick at the time. I was actually really I was
I didn't
pissed
either.
off.
I
with
didn't
it.
either.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I think if it pans out, then it was a good pick.
We got really lucky.
Oh, we got
to be
so
quite
lucky.
honest.
Oh yeah, we definitely did.
'Cause
I
it
mean,
was a
but that brings
horrible
up the
pick at the
question
time.
though. That brings up the question though. Do you think that Howie saw something in Wentz, and that's why he took Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, I actually had this like.
Um,
Sorry, you go.
no, you go.
No,
ahead.
okay.
I would-
So I don't know. I had this like conversation with my dad, and like that he asked me like the same exact question. And the way that I see it is like I don't like to put this like label on him because he really hasn't like had an injury like for a while now. But like I think the quarterback situation is like obviously the most important one. And I think the way that they see it, or like how the front office saw it, is like we don't have a quarterback who's like consistently been there when we need him, like every year, right? I mean, 2016, his rookie year, he played the whole year. 2017 got hurt. 2018, Nick Foles took over. 2019 got hurt in the playoffs. So I think they like a little bit confused or a little bit concerned about like security at the quarterback position. And the way that I thought of it, I thought Hurts was just going to be a backup. Like I never once thought that like he was going to come in and like take over, especially not this year or like in another year or
Yeah.
two. So I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, I thought that the best thing for him was just to hold the clipboard, not even do any of the Taysom Hill
Right.
things, any of the Wildcat options.
Mhm.
I thought he should have just sat there and developed. I mean, that's how I saw it.
Yeah.
But I mean, to be fair too, like Nate Sudfeld, even though like he was really bad this year, like before then he was actually like a pretty decent backup, and he played like
I agree with that.
when he had to, he was playing really well, like in the preseason and even against the Cowboys week 17. Like people were calling for Nick Foles' job because of how well Sudfeld played. So
Yeah. I have one question actually. If let's say we didn't draft we didn't draft Jalen Hurts, and Wentz continued to struggle the same way, do you think people would be calling for Nate Sudfeld to play like they were with Hurts this year?
I don't know.
I think that they would. I think that they would be calling for Wentz to be benched, but not necessarily for Sudfeld to come in. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with that because like Sudfeld's not a guy that people think can be like a potential franchise quarterback. Like Jalen Hurts was QB4 in this draft.
Yeah.
So that's why people wanted to see him play more than like just Wentz.
QB5 actually. Jordan Love.
Oh yeah, I did forget about Jordan Love.
Forgot about him.
Yep, you're good. But that's a good point, Samir, for sure. Or a good question.
Okay, so I guess we can transition. What do you think the future holds for Carson Wentz? Where do you guys see him, and what do you think we could get back?
You go first.
All right, word. I think that we can get a first-round pick for him. I don't know if it's going to be a clean first-round pick. And what I mean by that is that we're going to have to give up probably an extra pick in order to get the first round, or we're probably going to have to give up Zach Ertz in order to get the first round. But I think that they definitely can get a first-round pick for him. Wentz is one of the most respected quarterbacks around the league. Like, that's just a fact. Like, when you talk to general managers, they always rave about Carson Wentz, even how bad he was this year.
They know better than the media.
Within him. Yeah, exactly. The media, they see the Philadelphia Eagles starting quarterback. And
Hurts, right? It's a matter of fact before Hurts messes up and he gets crucified too.
Yeah, for sure. So I think that that's one of the biggest reasons.
Yeah. I think we're gonna get a first too. I agree. It's probably not gonna be a clean first. It's probably gonna be the Colts in my opinion, because I just don't see the Bears trading for Wentz now at this point. I also think since this came out the other day, the Colts also want Ertz, so we could possibly see Ertz and Wentz both going to the Colts. They have the cap situation where they can take on both of them.
I think that's like a win-win situation for both teams. I think this is just me speaking.
I think it's a win-win situation for everybody.
What pick do the Colts hold? It's like a mid-20s pick?
21st.
Okay.
21st.
So we get like a 21st overall pick. Wentz and Ertz go to like a new place together. I mean, they are like best friends after all. So I think that would be like a good like love story for them to have. Yeah, I don't know. Who do you guys see us taking 6th overall?
I mean, I would like Jamar Chase, but honestly, I think that there's a real chance that they go quarterback.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie.
I'm also feeling that.
Yeah, I'm getting that feeling.
Yeah. I mean, would you guys mind, like, if we even took someone like Justin Fields? Because the more that I've looked at it, I'm, like, not really opposed to that idea.
I mean, I'm not against it for sure. I mean, like, Fields is literally better at everything than Hurts does. Like, he's a complete upgrade over him. So, I mean, if Nick Sirianni says, hey, this is my guy, just like how Cliff Kingsbury did with Kyler Murray, then I could definitely see why that they would take Justin Fields. Now, I'd still take Chase over him. I'd still take Patrick Surtain, Caleb Farley, Devonta Smith, Jalen Waddle, Kyle Pitts, pretty much everyone.
I feel like
who is another target over him. But, I mean, like, I could see it for sure.
I just feel like we have so many holes that you just can't throw another quarterback in here and create another controversy because it's just not a good situation. Like, and I also feel that Jalen earned his chance to start and prove himself. And then if he doesn't prove himself, we can just draft a quarterback next year because odds are we're not.
And we'll probably be bad next year too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I definitely think Hurts should get a chance to start again. I did like what I saw from him. I think it was just unfortunate. He looked really mad that one game against the football team where like they pulled him out and he mouthed something. It was very clear what he said, but like
he said, I think he said,
he was like, "This isn't right." You could tell he's like hungry. He wants to win. He doesn't like to lose. Like you saw it after every post game conference. He was just like upset about it. He wants to go get better, and that's what I like about him. Like I feel like he's that one guy that will always like have the energy to just like come out there and produce, or at least attempt to.
Yeah, he's a good locker.
Great locker
as
well.
And
Right, exactly. He's got that dog in him. I know that's kind of cliche to say, but like that's what he has. That's
no,
like the
I
persona that
agree
he
with
gives
that.
off,
Yeah.
at least to me. So, and I feel like that kind of goes well with the city too. Like the city is a blue collar city. There's
Right.
no denying that. Jalen Hurts is a blue collar guy. He likes to work a lot. I mean, like that's all he says in his post game press conference. I have to work more. I
Right.
have to work more. Right. So I think I think he's a perfect fit for the city. But I don't know if Sirianni says Justin Fields is my guy, I think you have to take
I
him, at
think
least in
so
my
too.
opinion. But I don't think that
I
will be
did
the
see
case.
some.
I'm not.
No, you go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I'm not even confident that Fields or Wilson's even gonna be there. I don't think they will.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. I don't think Fields will be there. I mean, unless if the Jets take Sewell at 2, and then the Falcons take Wilson at 4, then I guess that will leave Fields to us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
All right.
So
go
I
ahead,
did
Samir.
see something that was interesting, and I don't know if you guys saw it, but Jalen Hurts is reportedly like gathering up a bunch of wide receivers to come to Texas this month or next month to work out and stuff like that. So I guess we could take that as we want, but I think that's a pretty clear sign that it's his time, or at least starting to be.
yeah, I totally agree with that because, I mean, last year
Right.
that's what Carson Wentz did as the starting quarterback
Mhm.
with Jalen Reagor and Quez Watkins and I think Greg Ward as well. So I mean, take that out what you will. I think that Howie probably told Hurts, "Hey, this is your team." So yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I see it. That's how I see that.
What do you guys think about the new coaching staff? Like, I think our offensive coordinator is Shane Steichen. I don't know how to say it. Steichen.
I think it's just
Steichen. Yeah.
And then
Well, Justin Herbert did praise Steichen the other day. I think it was Justin Herbert. He was just saying how we got a really good offensive mind.
yeah,
It's nice to finally have an actual offensive coordinator since Frank Reich because we all know Mike Rowe was horrible. It's definitely refreshing.
yeah. I did talk. Sorry, you go ahead.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Gotcha.
Samir. Go ahead. No, it's
so I did talk to like a couple of my friends because like I have like some friends that are Chargers fans, and I just wanted to like see what they thought about it. And I don't know if this was to like spite me or something, or like if they actually meant this, but they said that like the offensive coordinator when he was with the Chargers, he did call a lot of the plays at the time, and I think like a lot of times his play calling was really iffy. Like he was responsible for a lot of like blowing leads and stuff like that. And I don't know, the way that I view it is that like or like instead of like when they had to like get rid of clock, for example, when they're trying to run it down, they'd call passing plays, stuff like that, just things that didn't really add up. But the way that I view it is that like he has the offensive mind, and it was proven with like the Chargers had like a top 10 offense. I think that's like he's proven to be good offensively. I don't know to the extent how much like play calling he's going to have control over. I'm assuming it's just going to be Sirianni for the most part.
Yeah, I think it's going to be mainly Sirianni.
But I do like the offensive mind that he has. I think that's something that's definitely refreshing to have.
Yeah, totally. I think he's going to fill in nicely with that Frank Reich role where the head coach is obviously going to be calling plays, but he's going to be devising a lot of the game plan and helping the head coach Sirianni see things that maybe he might not have saw or seen, whatever. And I think he will fill in nicely. Like you said, if he's got a creative mind, maybe he could help out play design as well. I think, and not only that, they have a relationship going back when I think Sirianni was with the Chargers. So
yeah, they do, because I think you did say earlier that like Sirianni doesn't play to like the X's and the O's. So maybe this guy does, and now you're like butting them together. And like we all know, 2 brains is better than 1. So I think it's a recipe for success, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure. So what do you guys think about Jonathan Gannon?
He was responsible for Xavier Rhodes bouncing back this year, and that's great to see because Darius Slay. Like when you watched him, he didn't really have a down season, but statistically he did. And it's also good for if we potentially draft a corner in the second or third round, or even first. It's definitely also refreshing to have a guy who knows how to work with DBs.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even if I think I could see us signing Xavier Rhodes in free agency because clearly there's a connection there. Even when Gannon worked in Minnesota with Rhodes, I'm sure that had a huge part in why the Colts originally signed him. So I think, I mean, as a good depth piece or as like a good outside corner number 2, I could totally see the Eagles bringing him in.
Definitely, especially with how currently our cornerback 2 is Savonte Maddox.
Doesn't cut it.
Yeah.
That was terrible. I don't know why we didn't sign. Even like Nikhil Roby-Coleman didn't do much to stand out.
I just wish we kept Sidney Jones.
Same. There's no reason.
Alshon Jeffrey should have been on the active roster for 8 weeks when he was injured.
I think that was poor roster mismanagement. That was bad.
Totally. Yeah. And I've been saying that Sidney Jones was underrated since
I always thought he was like I always thought he just needed that that shot, like that proper shot at least, because he was pretty much always hurt when he was here.
And
last year,
yeah, for sure. And he's the one who saved our season last year.
I was just about to say that.
I mean, if he doesn't make that play on Michael Gallup, then Carson Wentz isn't known as somebody who rallied the troops and run with practice squad wide receivers, right? So, but also one last note about Gannon. I've read some things and I've heard some things too, just like listening to reporters and beat reporters and stuff like that you're going to see a lot more blitzing,
that's good.
Which is really nice too because, like, I'm a really big blitz guy. I believe in the blitz. So I think just, like, having that extra element of, like, creating more pressure, even with the current defensive line that we have, I think you're going to see a lot more turnovers too.
Yeah.
Which I think is awesome.
Something to be
because
we have people like Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Josh Sweat running at you. Good luck.
All right, it's going to wrap it up for the third episode of the Broad Street Coverage Podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed, and take care. Peace.